The site where Edison is storing radioactive spent fuel at San Onofre is sunk into the cliffs right next to the Pacific Ocean, a little north of the familiar dome. Edison, like all other nuclear plant operators, expected Congress to pick a permanent nuclear waste storage site by now, but that has not happened. Tom Palmisano, Edison's vice president for decommissioning, is confident in the company's plan to add 75 more canisters to the 50 that are already there.
You're looking at the existing dry fuel storage installation, which is a stainless steel canister stored horizontally in an above-ground steel module, or concrete module. That's where the new partially below-grade system will be installed. It will be set back approximately 100 foot from the ocean behind the seawall. This seawall, I believe, is 27 foot. That is designed and sized for the maximum expected tsunami that would occur.
The plan is to store the more recent waste in partially buried vertical canisters encased in concrete. The reason it cannot be completely buried is because it's too close to the groundwater table.
If you had to choose a place to put this that was the worst place you could think of, right here on the coast within 100 feet of the water and inches from the water level would probably be, that's the worst place we can think of. Guess what the industry has chosen? That spot.
Ray Lutz of the watchdog group Citizens Oversight Project says somewhere in the California desert would be better. Edison says it would take years to get a license to store the waste elsewhere. Lutz says after installing faulty steam generators, the company's track record doesn't inspire confidence.
If they fail on this plant, just keeping it operating, what makes you think they're going to make good decisions on this million-year problem that we have here?
Lutz's group is challenging a recent decision by the California Coastal Commission to give Edison a 20-year permit to store more nuclear waste on site. The commissioners voted unanimously, though Commissioner Mary Schallenberger was aware of the risks.
A radioactive leak onto one of our beaches would definitely have an impact on coastal access.
People surfing can be seen from the plant, and within a couple of miles there are strollers and sunbathers on the beach. An estimated 8 million people live within 50 miles. Carlsbad, for example, is less than 25 miles away.
I'm just concerned.
Schallenberger had a question for the regulators. Why is there currently no way to inspect the canisters for leaks?
Why is it we're not asking for that information prior to issuing this permit?
Mark Lombard, Director of Spent Fuel Management at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, admitted there is no way to inspect the canisters yet, but he said they're working on new technology using tiny robots.
Even we're not comfortable with the technologies that exist today, but it's very soon in the future that those technologies will exist that will be good enough to be able to detect cracks and also detect how deep those cracks are.
However, the contractor designing the canisters for San Onofre, Dr. Chris Singh, president of Holtec, said at a recent meeting that finding and repairing a crack might not be possible.
My personal position is that a canister that develops a microscopic crack, and all it takes is a microscopic crack, you're going to get released to precisely locate it itself. Is location where it will occur is a tall order.
Palmisano remains confident.
I'm confident in the current status of the canisters that are loaded. I'm confident in the new canister system, and we will have the inspection technology in place.
Workers had installed a seawall, protective seawall, around the plant that was nearly 15 feet tall. Unfortunately, the tsunami that day was nearly 45 feet tall.
David Lochbaum of the Union of Concerned Scientists advised Edison, after the experience at Fukushima, that burying the radioactive fuel would be better than leaving it in spent fuel pools. But, Lochbaum says, while confidence is the nuclear industry norm, their track record does not always warrant it.
If nothing else, the nuclear industry is optimistic. They tend to believe that things will be optimum. They don't really plan for the worst. For example, the problems that led to San Onofre being closed, the steam generator tubes, when the plant was built and purchased, were thought to last forever. That didn't happen. But the expectations were that things wouldn't go bad.
Efforts to find a permanent storage site have failed after more than 2 decades.
The stainless steel canister.
Palmisano, however, remains characteristically confident new initiatives to find interim storage sites in Texas or New Mexico will succeed.
What I'm confident over the next 10 to 20 years, these facilities are very likely going to get licensed and built and provide us the option we need.
Haltech's storage canisters are warranted for 25 years, though the concrete bunker they'll be buried in is only warranted for 10. Chances are high the nuclear fuel may remain on site for many decades more, stretching confidence levels to yet untested limits. Alison St. John, KPBS News.